the plastic surgery questions get answered. Corinne's here. God bless you. God bless you. Christine 4B. Yeah, JJ Staiano is my name, but I think you know that already. And plastic surgery is the game. So let's see what we can do in terms of lifting the lid on some of the common queries and concerns that people have that I'm here to explain. So what we got, I'll tell you what we got. Would mild sleep apnea movement disorder affect me having surgery? Let's have the full question. Would mild sleep apnea movement disorder affect me having surgery? I'd like a fleur-de-lis tummy tuck and possibly a breast lift, a breast reduction or breast lift. So Samantha Van Asten is here. So in itself, I don't think the sleep apnea would be a concern, although it would definitely be an anaesthetic issue. So we would talk to the anaesthetist and ensure the anaesthetist would be comfortable with that. Sometimes people need some support at night, CPAP, these things that you wear to keep the airway open at night, to keep oxygenated at night. But I'm guessing if it's mild sleep apnea. So sleep apnea, for those viewers at home who don't know what sleep apnea is, sleep apnea is when you stop breathing when you're asleep. And it's usually due to people who have quite heavy jowls, I think, and the airway sort of closes and the jowls close the airway. I'm not an expert on this. I should have read off on it before, but it's just usually heavy jowls and the airway sort of closes up. So they often have these face masks that blow air in, positive airway pressure, CPAP, continuous positive airway pressure, which will keep the airway open so their airway doesn't close. Because if the airway does close at night and they stop breathing for periods of times, it means that they have very restless sleep. They're very tired in the day, and just it's pretty unpleasant, I think. So I think in itself it wouldn't necessarily be a problem. The only thing that worries me about this question is it makes me think that this person might still be a bit overweight, because it's usually in people who are overweight who've got very heaviness around their jowls and their jaw. And if you are still overweight, then that would worry me more than the actual sleep apnea. As I say, we talked to the anaesthetist to see how much of the sleep apnea would be a concern, if it would be a concern. So that's something we would liaise with the anaesthetist. And sometimes people have got sort of more of an anaesthetic type issue, then we can you can talk to the anaesthetist prior to the surgery. Sometimes people find that helpful. Or we can just certainly talk to the anaesthetist ourselves and pass the message on. But quite a lot of big surgery we're talking about, fleur-de-lis tummy tuck and possibly a breast lift / reduction, quite big ops those. So you need to get it right, make sure you're optimized for it. So yeah, definitely talk to the anaesthetist about it. But my main concern with that question is, what's your weight like? Is your weight stable? Are you comfortable with your weight? Do you want to lose weight? It's always best to lose the weight first. Jane Bird has said, good evening, how are you? I'm going to say good evening to you, Jane. I'm very well. How's yourself? Yeah, nice to see you here this evening, Corinne. Hope you've had a positive week. Yeah, I mean, it's the beginning of the week, isn't it? So what we got yesterday was Monday, and now it's Tuesday. So yeah, so far so good, Corinne. Do you know what, Corinne? I try and do my week to be a bit easier at the beginning of the week, because that's how I like to structure my week. So my beginning of the week is always easier. Yeah, it's not that bad, to be honest. So I try and do surgery at the beginning of the week. Believe it or not, surgery is the easy part of my job. So I try and do the surgery at the beginning of the week, and so in that respect, yes, it has been a positive week. So yeah, been doing a bit of surgery, so that's good. Was Alison Lashwell was effing talk mild? If it's mild sleep apnea, movements was okay with sleep. Is that before weight loss? If it's mild sleep apnea, movements was okay with sleeve before weight loss. Not 100% on that one, Alison. If it's mild sleep apnea, movements was okay. Sorry. No, don't be sorry. Listen, Alison, never be sorry for commenting, because the comments are good. You know, Facebook like the comments. I don't 100% understand the comment, but that's secondary. Comments first, understandable comments second. So you've definitely fulfilled the first criteria for comments, Alison. The first criteria for comments is definitely double ticked. The second criteria for comments, less so. But you know, if it's mild sleep apnea, movements was oh, here we go. Come back. I have mild sleep apnea, movement disorder. Okay. It's when I had gastric sleeve. Yeah, I think it's. Yeah, I've got to be honest with you, Alison. I'm not an expert at this. Full disclosure, I am not an expert at this. So I'm not sure about what mild sleep apnea movement disorder is. I don't know about this movement disorder bit, but in my experience, it is due to people when they've got heavy jowls and heaviness around here, the airways closing down. And Alison's got it. And Beverly, long time no see. Good evening. How are you, Bev? How are you doing? What a long time no see for you. What's gone on here? What we got? Corinne, you should do a day in the life of JJ Staiano blog. Would be fab. Do you know what, Corinne? My plan was to do with the videographer a video every day. That was my initial plan when I got the videographer. I said, we're going to do a video every single day. Literally less than a minute, maybe, you know, a daily vlog. That was what my plan was. But that was very quickly poo-pooed. I think it's probably hard for one person and they wanted to do bigger videos and stuff. But I just thought, just video around the clinic. What's going on? You know, what's occurring? Daily fit things. As I say, less than 60 seconds probably. That was my plan. Still, maybe it's not as interesting as I had thought. Yes, do it. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Corinne, for your support. Because I've got to be honest, no one supported me on that. No one, literally 0 people. The videographer or no one else. That was a terrible idea. Hey ho. What's Alison got over here? My legs fly when I'm in sleep. Okay, this is different then, Alison. This movement apnea, my legs fly. Okay. My sleep apnea went. Yeah, I was thinking, Bex, I'm with you on that one, Bex. My idea of the sleep apnea was actually a gastric sleeve might make it better, because it's often when you're carrying a bit too much weight, and actually losing weight can help it. So that's what I was thinking about that patient who was having considering a fleur-de-lis with a breast reduction. If they were still a bit heavy, that might contribute to the sleep apnea. So if they are, so often in my experience, which is not huge, of sleep apnea, the weight loss will help it. Bev is great. Good to hear, Bev. Right, Loco. Hi, Susie. Good to see you. They put me on iron to help. Well, there you go. Iron. Right. There you go, Alison. Loco's asking to be in my live video. I don't know if that Hi, Brad. Good to see you. How you doing? In the past, Loco, that has been people pressing the wrong button rather than actually asking to be on the video. But if you want to be in the video, then I will sort of come. I think I'll turn the camera on your phone and we'll be split screen. So do you want to do that? We can give it a go if you want to do that. I don't know if you're able to put a comment say, yes, I want to do that. But I'm very happy to have a split screen conversation with you, Loco. We can give it a go. But I don't want to press that view request. Yeah. I don't want to actually do that unless you actually want to. No, thank you. Oh, you don't want to. Okay. So I'll cancel it. Okay. Nothing there. Right. I mean, as I say, very happy to do that if you want to, but Yes, that's correct, says Bex. So yes, often I think a weight loss might help sleep apnea. Who knew sleep apnea would be a... Ignore that request. Susie, what have you got, my friend? Just have to say, I'm 8 days post-Tommy Tuck. I'm so happy with the results. You will see tomorrow at my post-op. Oh, bloody amazing. Who's at the door? Someone's at the door. That's very kind of you, Susie. Blushing. All right. Leave that comment on for a bit. Thank you, Susie. I'm glad it all went well. Early days, 8 days post-op. That's really nice to hear. And looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. That's very, very kind of you to say that. So what are we doing here? Just remind me. Yes, I'm doing some questions. Now, those viewers those astute viewers of you out there might know that this question was in a slightly different form last week. It said, do you offer implant removal under general anaesthetic? And I was like, why is this question there? And then I spoke to Amy, and Amy said, oh, no, it was general, it was local anaesthetic, not general. So they've posted the question again, do we offer it under general, local? So yeah, we do it under both, basically. Yeah, you can do it under local, you do it under general. Well, I say local, probably local with sedation. You wouldn't want to do it under pure local anaesthetic unless you got some real problem. So yeah, implant removal without anything else is relatively straightforward. The only thing I would say to that is often when you're doing implant removal, you do have a discussion with patients about what you do with the capsule. Now, if it's left to me, I just leave the capsule, basically. Obviously, if there's a problem, if there's any worrying areas of the capsule, I will biopsy them. Now, some people are worried about breast implant illness in that they feel that the implants have made them feel ill. And so they want the capsule to be removed. So that would involve a capsulectomy. So a capsulectomy with an implant removal is a bigger operation, shall we say, than just to removing the implant. Now, I'm not saying it can't be done. It can still be done under local anaesthetic with sedation, but it's just a slightly bigger procedure, and so a bit more considered if you're having a capsulectomy. But if you're not having a capsulectomy and it's just your implants are, I don't know, they're ruptured or you just don't want them anymore, an implant removal is a relatively straightforward procedure that can be done under local anaesthetic with sedation without too much trouble. Yeah, and indeed, a capsulectomy could also be done under local anaesthetic with sedation, to be fair. It's just a slightly bigger operation, but that could definitely still be done under local sedation. What's Bex got? Here's a laugh. I went on treadmill today for 45 minutes and I didn't use trainers, so now I've got burnt soles. Oh my God. I mean, that's basic, Bex. Basic footwear. Honestly. It's the problem with having it at home, isn't it? You never do that at the gym, would you? Mind you, it's gonna strengthen your soles, Bex. It's gonna strengthen your soles. So keep pushing through, and you'll get like really tough soles that you can then, walk on hot coals. What we got on Instagram, we have got Loco. Do you perform 360 lower body lifts, and is this a procedure you perform regularly? Yes and no, Loco. I do performs 360 degree lower body lifts, and no, I don't perform it regularly. It's a really difficult surgery, really difficult operation. Involves turning the patient during the surgery, and it's just a very big deal, and so I don't do it regularly. Because it's not that often indicated. People will need to have a circumferential excess, particularly at the sides. It's really good at tightening the sides. So that's my answer to that question, Loco. It is something that I do perform, but I wouldn't say that I'm a sort of heavy performer of it. I don't know if anyone in this country is. Maybe, probably is some people. I think Mark Soldin does a lot of body contouring surgery, but it's for massive weight loss patients who have got circumferential excess, particularly to the sides, as I say. So yeah, do perform it faux show, but not huge numbers. Salma, what have you got? So Bex, what's happening with Bex? Yeah, Bex was at home and she's laughing and she's a tough old bird. Go for it, toughen up those soles, Bex. Salma, Hi JJ, I hope you're well. I've been told I need a lift alongside my augmentation, but I just don't want the vertical scar down my breast. Could I do a donut lift and augmentation? Yes, you could, Salma. But I've got to be honest with you, Salma, nobody wants the scarring of a lift. If you say to people, do you want the scarring of the lift or not? It's always not. No one wants it. But if someone's told you that, that is because they think you're going to get a better result. You're right out there. Honestly. Hello? Right. Sorry about that. That is because they feel that your shape will be better with that scar. And in my experience, you have people who definitely need that scar. They definitely need a lift. And you just say, look, I am not putting implants in. It will look bad if you don't have that extra scarring of a lift. There are others who are sort of in the interface area where they could avoid the scar, but there's no question the shape would not be as good. So you might be in that category. You might be in the definite you need that scar. Forget it. Don't even have implants on their own. Don't even think about it. But you might be in that interface period of people who got a bit of a droop to the breast, who would say to them, look, you're going to get a better shape. No one wants that scar, but you're going to get a better shape with that scar. And you might say, look, I don't want that scar. And we'll be like, okay, well, you're not going to get a better shape then. You'll have the fullness, you can close, you'll look fine. In a bra, you'll look fine. But you take the bra off and the breast will sit low and you won't, you might not be happy with that. It'd be better if the breasts are a bit higher. We cannot lift the breasts with implants. You cannot lift the breasts with implants. You can add projection, you can add volume, but you cannot lift the breasts. If your nipples are sitting low, if your breasts are sitting low, you have to put the implants where the breasts are. So you have to put the breast implants low. And sometimes that doesn't look very good. So I would just, it needs a good discussion. Oh, sorry. So the question, Samuel, was, could you do a donut lift and augmentation? Yes, you could do a donut lift and augmentation. Personally, personal view, I don't like the donut lift. Totally personal view. Don't think it's a very good lift. Don't think it's great. And I think that the one with the vertical scar is much better. But I understand you're not wanting that vertical scar. Now, if you do a lift, you've got to take out skin. If you're only doing a donut lift, you're putting a big scar into a big circle into a small circle, and that donut lift is puckered, that scar. When you do the circumvertical lift, you can bring some of that puckering in and it's less puckered. And I just think it gives a better lift, a better shape with the circumvertical or the lollipop lift, personally. But you might find someone who's getting good results with donuts, but that guy ain't me. Loco, maybe I should book in for a consultation. You do that, Loco. You do that. I don't mind a bit of a droop. I understand now. Yeah. So it's a difficult decision, Salma. So you might have a bit of a droop and you might not have a shape as good. I think the lollipop does give a better, well, I don't think there's any question the lollipop gives a better lift than the circumareola, but a lot of people just want the circumareola or the, what do you call it, the Benelli, or I can't remember what you called it, but the, all the way around, donut, mastopexy. Yeah. One of those ones where it needs a discussion, Selma, and it's all about patient expectation. It's all about aligning your expectations with what can be achieved with the surgery, and getting the right one for you. What's Bex doing on the treadmill now? She's 4 months post-op, sleeve today, and 4 stone lost. Look at that. 4 months, 4 stone. Wow. Pat yourself on the back, Bex. That's awesome. I'm having a breast reduction, free graft nipple due to 42 centimeters in length. Wow. Yes, Bex. That is free nipple graft territory. 42 centimeters. Wow. You're going to have a great result, Bex. A great result. I feel like I scar dark. Yeah, I get you. Somewhere. I hear you. Don't know what to say to you. You might scar dark in your donut one, but I get it. It's maybe less obvious than that vertical one. No answers to that one, Selma. No answers. You might get an obvious scar with the vertical. So you might say, look, I don't want that. Needs a discussion, Selma. Needs discussion. No right or wrong in this. Can I have a breast augmentation if I have malignant hyperthermia? Right. Well, that's a big one. I saw this. This was on Instagram. This was a message on Instagram. Wow. I did. We. This is not a patient I've seen in the clinic. This is just someone who's contacted me. So this, we did speak to the anaesthetist, and I said, look, we were talking to him about something else, and I said, look, ask him about this. And it's a sort of like one of those ones which is a bit frightening. I'll be honest with you. It does. I mean, I don't even know much about malignant hyperthermia, but it does strike a little bit of fear in me. As far as I understand it, I think it's people who, I think it's related to certain drugs, certain anesthetic drugs, muscle relaxants and things, where they have an abnormal reaction. They, get very hot and need to be cooled, and it can be quite serious. So this is definitely something we need to talk to anaesthetists about, and something we'd have to have a conversation about, the fact that you're having a breast augmentation, which is quite a elective sort of planned, non-essential, if you like, operation, and where's that balance going to be if you have got something which I believe can be quite a serious complication, malignant hyperthermia. So I would be thinking, do you want to put yourself through the possibility of a significant potential anesthetic complication for your breast augmentation? Is my reflex response to that, I think if you are serious about wanting a breast augmentation, we would have to look into what exactly the level of your condition is, and talk to the anaesthetist about the risks, and try and make a balanced decision as to what's right for you. But that is something that initially makes me worry, because I think malignant hyperthermia is a bad condition. But needs a discussion, and then maybe another one where we'd have to talk to anaesthetist about you. Douglas, good to see you here this evening. Feel free to comment freely. I hope I haven't, unfairly singled you out, and maybe please feel free to comment, Douglas, and I'll do my best to understand it. What's going on here? Jane is saying, why do you get embarrassed when people praise you up? I don't know, Jane. I don't know. It's embarrassing, isn't it, Jane? It's like if I said to you, well done with that thing you did at work today or something. It's embarrassing. Anyway, Elaine, it's better than something bad, I suppose, isn't it? Oh God, that's what I live. I've got to be honest. I live in fear of that. I don't know if anyone's watching this here now, but I know Douglas is here. But I live in fear of that because I'm, I think other surgeons do. That's why I think people don't do this sort of thing, because someone could say, "Look, you're terrible and awful." So it is brilliant that people say good things. Honestly, I am very grateful. To be honest, I am very grateful deep down inside. Outwardly, I find it hard to perhaps verbalize that, but I am internally very grateful, and I will reflect on it and be very grateful for that. I'm turning red. Right, okay. It's the filters, Salma. It's the filters. Right, what's going on? Let's get into some questions here. Alex is excited for the consultation in a couple of weeks. I'm excited for you, Alex. It is very excited. Tony's here. Good to see you, Tony. Teardrop all round. Does rotating teardrop? Does textured implant fixed rotation on teardrop? Whoa. I think teardrop is, I mean, it's that's a hard one. Teardrop all round. I mean, teardrop for a given width. The width is the most important thing. Is a bit softer in the upper pole. Depends what sort of look you're looking for. Depends what shape breast you got. In my experience, teardrop is really good for people who've got nothing. So if in one step you're saying, do I need a lift with my implants, that suggests to me you haven't got nothing, you got something. So if you got something, I'm probably thinking round. For someone who's got something, think you've got a bit of a droop to your breast, the breast is sitting in your lower pole, you need a bit in the upper pole. I'm thinking round, personally. Textured implant, fixed rotation of teardrop, no. I mean, textured implant, so basically you have smooth, textured and polyurethane. You can't get smooth teardrop implants because they rotate all over the place. Polyurethane implants are much less likely to rotate than textured. So textured implants can rotate, and so texturing doesn't fix the rotation of a teardrop. It's a risk with a teardrop implant. As I say, it's less likely polyurethane. But if you've got a bit of droop to your breast, you might consider a round implant. But again, it's something that is a bit, something for discussion as to what might be the right choice for you. I want to be a D cut, but I want it to look natural. A lot of people say teardrop and natural. Now then, I think they're really good in people who are completely flat. If you've got a bit of volume, as long as you don't get anything too crazy high profile, the profile is really important. You can get a natural result with a round implant, in my experience. But you need to talk to your surgeon about that and come to a answer as to which one's right. Hi, I'm considering a thigh lift. Is the only option the huge scar that goes down the inner thigh? No, it isn't, Claudiac. Claudiac Mama 3. There is another option, which is a short scar, which is in your groin. And it's hidden in your groin, and it's a shorter scar, and it's less risks and less obvious, and on paper much better. But I've got to be honest with you, Claudiac, I don't do it. I don't do it because I've tried it, I've done it, and it's not very. I can't get a very good lift with it, so I don't think it's a very good way of doing a thigh lift. But in my hands, I can't make it look good. So I'll either do nothing, or I'll do that big long scar down the middle. But a lot of people don't want that big long scar, and a lot of people aren't candidates for that big long scar. In my hands, it's only people who've got a significant excess of skin in the medial thigh. So so I understand how a lot of people say, flipping it, you're not putting that down my thigh. I'm like, okay, that's fine. You don't have to have that down your thigh. Don't have it, it sounds awful, but don't have anything. Just because, I'll tell you why, Claudiac, it's quite expensive, a thigh lift, even the one with a little scar in the groin, and it's just not very good. And if you cost you loads of money, and I don't give you a very good lift, you're not going to be happy. So I'd rather not do anything, basically, because I don't think it's a very good way of lifting the thigh, personally. But I know people do it, and people must get good results because it's a thing, and it's an established way of doing a thigh lift. So there must be people out there who are good at it. It's just I'm not one of them. So, yeah. Attorney Red, I know I am. Yeah, I'm forever grateful for your amazing talent. You have changed my life. Accept the praise. Thank you, Corinne. Very kind of you to say that live on TV. That's very kind. Thanks, JJ. Thanks, Selma, for the questions. Right. Malignant hyperthermia. There we go. Do you offer liposuction to the chin area? Now, is it me, or do I get that question all the time? Do you know what? It makes me think I should start offering it, because the answer is always the same. No, I don't. I mean, it can be done. Liposuction to the chin area is a normal thing, but I just don't do faces. I'll take moles off, but I don't do aesthetic faces. I don't do nose jobs. I don't do facelifts. I don't do eye lifts, blepharoplasties. I just don't do faces. So chin is there. So chin liposuction is a thing, no question about it. But I don't do it just simply because I don't do faces. But as I say, we seem to get that question an awful lot. I don't know if they just don't have enough questions, so they just reissue the same question, or if someone actually is asking that question every week. I don't know. But either way, no, I don't do it. Here we go. Bex is flappy after 4 stone loss. Yeah, chin, neck. Well, yeah, I mean, the problem with liposuction, Bex, doesn't matter if it's a chin or your thighs or whatever, it doesn't take the skin out. So thin chin might be a thing, but also facelift couldn't lift the chin. Yeah. Can tighten the chin anyway. Facelift can tighten the chin. Full facelift can tighten the skin. So if you've got a lot of skin there, liposuction won't tighten the skin. So, but again, don't do facelifts either. So Mons needs doing. Well, there you go. Chin to the Mons. There's a segue, isn't there, Bex? How'd you get from chin to Mons? Okay, good to know. Good to know. I'll remember. I'll bear that in mind, Bex. I will bear that in mind. Make a note. Okay, Bex Mons needs doing. Okay, good. Okay, that's okay. Family show. Right, what we got, Claudiac. Thank you for being honest. Thank you for being honest. Is that the same for an arm lift? I've lost about 7 stone and had 3 babies, so trying to get my body back. Yes, it is, Claudiac. It is the same for an arm lift. They're the same thing, but well, obviously one's on an arm, one's on a leg. But yeah, big long scar down the arm. I mean, again, people talk about short scar this, short scar that, which I totally understand. But if you've got a significant excess, I mean, some people will do liposuction for an arm, Again, I won't. There are some types of liposuction which deliver energy, like Vaser and Smart Lipo and things, which say they cause retraction. So they might be an idea. But in my experience, the best way to contour these areas is by cutting out the skin, by giving you a big scar, which you might not be ready for. But 7 stone, that's brilliant. Well done. 7 stone, 3 babies. But yeah, that's why I say to people, if you go on the internet, look at body contouring. You've got breast lifts, you've got face lifts, you've got tummy tucks. There's loads about those. Arm lifts and thigh lifts, there's not much written about them. Why is that? Well, the reason that is because they've got big, obvious scars, and it's not everyone's up for that. You know, tummy tucks, breast lifts, face lifts, you can hide the scars with those ones. So they're much more popular. So an arm lift and a thigh lift are not as popular as the other types of skin removal, tightening procedures, simply because the scar is more obvious. So you really have to have more of a problem, if you like, in order to put up with undergoing the surgery. Right, Bex has lost it. Right, need to go now. James needs to go now. See you next week. Okay, Jane. Jane's off, guys. Let's give Jane a wave. See you, Jane. See you next week. Thanks for letting us know. If you could just all let us know when you're going, please. Don't just leave. If you just let us know, okay? Because we need to know who's here and who's not. Okay? Fire Regs says we need to keep track. Okay, good. So what's Loco got? With regards to a normal TT and lipo, will you work just on the lower abdomen or top and sides too? Yeah, good question, Loco. Good question. Top, not so much. I know people do. So above the belly button, I don't do much. I know people do liposuction to that area. I don't. I just sort of pull it down. So it does get pulled down. So there is an indirect pull to the top bit, but it's not directly addressed. If you've got a significant fullness there, that might have to be addressed later. So you can do liposuction later on. I don't do liposuction to the top bit at the time of a tummy tuck because I want to get it healed, and I worry about the healing if you do liposuction to the upper flap. But I know that people are doing it now, and so I don't do so much to the top. But to the sides, yes, I do liposuction to the sides. So the tummy tuck will address the lower abdomen. The liposuction will address the sides. But again, it doesn't give significant skin retraction. It's not as good as doing a 360, but it's less risks, less complications, etc. So it's always a balance between less scarring, less of a result. Same with the arm lift, I guess. Less scarring. So yeah, so that will be an option instead of a 360 is a full tummy tuck with liposuction to the sides. It's not going to be as effective as a 360, but there's less risks, less complications, and less scarring. Bex, what do you think to thread facelifts? Don't know, Bex. Don't know. Again, it goes back to the less scarring and less of a result. I think they're popular, and I think they might suit some people who just want a little bit of a lift. A facelift is a big deal. So a lot of people might not be ready for a facelift. So it might be a good halfway house, but it's not something that I do. So I haven't really got a huge experience of it. But on paper, it might be something for the right patient. It's like anything in surgery. It's patient, not choice, patient selection. Patient selection. That's what you've got to do in order to get a good result. So in the right patient, it might be a good thing. But it's not going to be as effective as a full facelift, but again, not as much scarring, etc. Back to the same thing as the breast lift and the arms and all that same concept. The more scarring, the more of a lift, the more skin you remove, the more of a result you're going to get in terms of tightening, but worse in terms of the cosmetic and the risks, etc. I say worse in terms of the cosmetic. It's going to be better in terms of cosmetic, but more scarring, so more risks. Can I have a breast reduction and augmentation at the same time? Those ones where you say, can you? Yes. Would I? Not so much. The reason people ask for it is usually people who want a breast reduction. So basically, the breasts are too big and they say, I want them smaller. You say, fine. The breasts are too big, you want them smaller? What do you need? Breast reduction. Job done. Sign on the dotted line. Let's get it done. But what you do, or what I do, is I show them photos of breast reductions. And sometimes I look at the photos and say, looks a bit saggy, looks a bit droopy. I'm like, well, that's because the breast over time, when you first have done this up here, it sags, it droops, it goes to a natural. I say, look, that's natural, but they look like a lift is part of a breast reduction. So they are lifted. The shape is no question better than what they are before. But what they've got in their heads is the sort of shape you get with implants. And that's quite full up here. When you have implants in, you can get much more fullness in the upper part, the part above the nipple. You can get much more of a convexity as opposed to a concavity. You know, you get much more of a bump in the upper hole with an implant. And they're like, oh, I want to look like that. You're like, well, you're not going to look like that if you have a breast reduction. You can only look like that when you have implants. The problem with having implants is it makes the breast bigger. So if you want a breast reduction, why would you have implants? Well, that's why you'd have it for the shape. So what you can do is you can over-reduce it, or if you're happy being the same size and you don't want to be bigger, you can reduce the breasts to the volume of the implant and then put an implant in. So replace that tissue with an implant, if that makes sense, in order to give you the shape. It's not particularly a technique that I particularly like, to be honest, but it is a technique that's out there. I don't like the concept of removing breast tissue and replacing it with implant, but it's a technique out there. So it's not something that sits particularly well with me, but it is definitely a thing. Now we've got a comment on YouTube, vur.life. I'm sure we had that before. I'm thinking that's some kind of dodgy bots thing, is it? I don't know. Loco, are TT and 360s quite high risk procedures? Yes. Loco, they are. Big ops, big long ops, big scars, big risks, complications, hematoma, seroma, wound healing problems, DVT, PE. Yeah. Anyway you cut it, Loco, they are. What would you say your specialties are? Main specialty, Loco, breast. Breast and body contouring. So breast and tummy. I do a lot of tummy tucks, liposuction. So those are the, breast, sort of anything bigger, smaller, lifted, reduced, lifted implants, and tummy. And I do arm lifts and thigh lifts, but as I said earlier, not quite so much because it's not quite as popular an operation. So breast and body is my main specialties. So I don't do face, basically. I don't do non-surgical, don't do Botox, don't do fillers, don't do any face. I do just breast and body. So yeah, that's my thing. Oh God, right. Oh, I've got a headache now. All that blushing. Right, okay. I'm out of questions. Simple as that. So, wow, that was a good one. Thank you for your. I feel like I'm still red. I thank you for your comments and your questions. Very much appreciated. I will be back next Tuesday at 7 o'clock. Not before Douglas has asked a question. Many garments are in the market. What do you use and why? I'll tell you what, Douglas. You're welcome, Claudiac. The main garments that I have control over are the bras. So I used to say to people, "Oh, bring a bra," and they'd say what size, and I'd say, "Well, bring a few." So I supply the bras. And so, why are you laughing? Is this a serious question? I'm going to answer it anyway, Douglas. I'm going to answer it whatever you like. I'm going to answer it. So there was a maker bra which I absolutely loved called Plie, and it was Brazilian make, and there was a UK importer, and then they went, and then the importer was in Poland, were they? And I remember every time they got, I said, look, I'll get every time they got any in, I'd say, I'll buy them all. I love them. They're really good. But I just can't get them anymore. And so we used Macon for a while, and now we use Lipoelastic. I've got to be honest with you, Douglas, it's mainly Vicky who deals with it. Vicky, the clinic nurse, and she really likes them. And patients seem to like them. And Vicky's done a lot of work and got loads of samples. Well, we both have lots of samples. We looked at them. We know what we like. Often thought about going to China and getting some made, actually. Getting some Staiano bras. But anyway, for now, that's what we use. We use Lipoelastic. In terms of the garments for the tummy tucks and the other procedures, well, tummy tuck's the main one. That's the hospital. The hospital supplies them, so I use whatever the hospital supply. I think Macon is quite common. But yeah, I don't have that much control. Sometimes if they don't fit or there's a problem, we will buy in our own garments. But yeah, mainly from the hospital. But the JJ bra, yeah. JJ bra, yeah. chicken fillets, bras. I've got all these plans, Douglas, but I need to get help with the surgery so I can start developing the clinic and getting the bras and the chicken. I don't want to say too much about the ideas I got, because I know someone's going to get and run and do it, and I'm going to miss the boat. But yes, yeah, you laugh, but JJ Bra, yeah. Khan, late tonight. I haven't seen you for a while, Khan. Good to see you. Thank you, much appreciated. But yeah, thanks for that coherent question this time, Douglas. Not like you. Well done. Thank you for that. Right. So, Khan, you are late. I'm really sorry, but I'm about to check out because I think they've got dinner there and they keep on coming out to the door. But I will be back same time next week, Khan. You know that. And watch the replay. It was a belter. Loads of people being complimentary about me. So be sure to watch that. Okay. Jackie, good to see you. Corinne, Q&A. Let me know if you need me to have a word with your videographer. 60-second, yeah? 60-second day. The 60-second day, the daily vlog. I don't know what. Thanks, Corinne. But yeah, I need a bit of support. I'm an army of one. Right, love you big time. I'm going to check myself out of here and go and see if they've left any